So this is the XPG Xenia 14, and they're advertising this as a gaming lifestyle notebook. I'll be straight up with you. There is nothing gaming going on here. Like, this is not a gaming laptop. So if you look at this, don't think you're going to buy this to game. But it's still interesting because this is a laptop that retails for about $1,000 to $1,100, which makes it about $300 to $400 cheaper than the LG Gram, but still has a very light and portable form factor at 2.2 pounds. Now, this is interesting because it's a company that usually makes SSDs. So I was going into this not expecting much, but I kind of got surprised after reviewing this because there's a lot of great things about this laptop. The design is not one of them. It's very muted. Like, there's nothing crazy going on here. It's just like a black slab with the XPG logo on the right side. And it is magnesium. It's a magnesium alloy, but obviously this type of material tends to feel a bit more plasticky. And in order to reduce the weight, they had to minimize the rigidity. So when you press on the top of the lid, there's a little bit of flex. I don't think this laptop's gonna break on you, but it's just something you need to know if you're purchasing this. The one thing that really stood out to me though, considering that most laptops at this size have a lack of ports, but this thing has quite a bit for a thin and light laptop. Like the left-hand side, for example, has a USB Type-C port, which you can use to charge. This one is not Thunderbolt, but you do have a USB port, a full-size SD card slot, which you usually don't see on a 14-inch Ultrabook anymore, audio jack, and then on the right-hand side, you have a power connector, HDMI, another USB port, and then the right USB Type-C port is Thunderbolt 4. The laptop can be opened up with one hand, and then of course you have a very, very clean black look. The keys have very shallow travel distance. They're a bit mushy. I wouldn't say it's a bad keyboard, but it's definitely not one of my favorite. There's only one level of backlighting, so that's something to keep in mind. It's either on or off. You can't increase or decrease the brightness, but it works. And the touchpad, huge. This is a massive glass touchpad, but the problem is it's not that accurate. Like, I find it to be a bit too slippery, if that makes sense. Like, I don't find the tracking or the movement to be as accurate as more premium laptops. Now, there's no fingerprint scanner baked into the power button, but you do have a Windows Hello camera on top, which is kind of incredible for this price. And it's a 720p webcam. So, like, you know, it's gonna look like every other 720p webcam, but at least it has one. Now, the coolest thing about this laptop is they completely got rid of the sticker guy. They got rid of the middleman, saved millions of dollars, and instead of applying the stickers to the laptop, they come separate in a bag. So if you want to be that one guy, please don't be that guy, and you want stickers on your laptop, you can freshly place them on your laptop yourself. Now, this display kind of surprised me. First and foremost, it's 16 by 10 and it's 14 inches, so you have a lot of screen real estate to work with. And the second thing is the color saturation and brightness. The color saturation is actually quite respectable. Like, you can easily edit on this, you can easily trust this display to give you good color accuracy. It's not like 400 or 500 nits of brightness, but it's definitely above average, making this a pretty good display for its price point. The only thing to watch out for is there's a bit of wobble. It's not too concerning, like you can push the display back 150 degrees, but there is a bit of wobble. It's not as bad as the Aero 15, but it is noticeable if you like quickly open up your laptop. It's gonna take a couple of seconds to calm down. Speakers, they're on the bottom of the laptop. You know, they're clear, they're clean. There's a lot of high end, but there's like no mid-range, and there's absolutely no bass. Now, this model comes with an i7 Intel processor, the 1165D7, and I know some of you are like, no AMD, no buy, and I get that for Ultrabooks, but this one actually performed very well. It's obviously not going to beat out a Ryzen 5000 series or even 4000 series processor when it comes to multi-core speeds. There's just more cores to work with. With AMD, you're just going to get better results. It will win though when it comes to single core speeds. Like, this gets over 1500, which is really impressive for a U series processor. Now, if you're a developer, I still think you're better off buying an AMD laptop. You're just going to get better compile time since you have more cores to work with. Even if you're using Photoshop, because it's so CPU dependent, AMD is still gonna offer you better performance when it comes to processing big renders. If you're just doing like the odd photo here and there, it honestly doesn't really matter which laptop or CPU SKU you go with, it's gonna be fine. If you're planning to edit video with this, and this is definitely not a video editing machine, but if you need to do a light video edit, you're gonna get better results with an Intel processor because of that integrated GPU. Premiere Pro likes to utilize QuickSync, which gives you faster render times, and it plays back H.264 a little bit better. As for heat management, I don't have too many concerns. The keyboard deck never gets too hot. My fingers don't feel uncomfortable. When you're pushing this thing to its full potential, I've seen the temperatures get over 80 degrees, but the laptop is able to sustain a very high clock speed compared to other U-series processors that I've tested in this category. As for fan noise, it's all relative to what you're doing. If you're just doing general productivity, maybe you're in Microsoft Office, have a couple of tabs open, fans will kick on around 20 to 30 decibels, and it's hard to hear. Like, you have to put your head pretty close. But if you push this thing and you're really using both the integrated GPU and CPU, then yeah, you could push the fans above 40 decibels. In fact, there's a high power mode and a fan boost feature which pushes the fans as loud as it can if you want to like maximize cooling. Now, the internals are really what I love most about this laptop, because when you start to get this light and this thin, the one thing that all manufacturers do is they solder on the memory. This one has the potential to have 2 sticks in here. Like, you could put 32 gigabytes of RAM. Now, mine only has one 16 gigabyte DIMM. I can place another 16 gigabyte DIMM and get dual channel configuration, and I'd probably get slightly better performance, but at least I can upgrade it myself in the future. Also, what's cool is that this little area here could have been a dedicated GPU. How cool would it be to go out and buy your own dedicated GPU, maybe like a GTX 1650, and place it here and then add a little bit better cooling? The battery is 53 watt hours. I got about 8 hours and 30 minutes. Not the best in this category, but it's still very good. You have one drive that's currently populated, which is 512 gigabytes, but you can also upgrade a second drive if you want to expand storage in the future. Honestly, I like this laptop a lot. Yes, it's not the most premium laptop I've tested at this price point, but I feel like the features that you get are worth it. You know, 2.2 pounds, super duper light. You can upgrade the RAM, which a lot of laptops at this price point you can no longer do. You have 2 slots for SSDs, which most other Ultrabooks at this size only come with one. And when you compare this to something like the LG Gram 14, which costs like $300 to $400 more, it makes it very hard to justify that laptop over this one, especially considering how many more ports you get. The only downfall is that you can't buy this yet. Like, you can pre-order it, but it's not going to be out until September. But if you can wait that long and this is kind of what you're looking for, then I feel like this is a good option too. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, feel free to hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.